I find that many older workers, they are concerned that their age will prevent an employer from seriously considering them as a candidate for hire. And their concerns, they are well founded. Research shows that it's often harder for older workers to secure new jobs. A 2020 study that was published by the National Bureau of Economic Research, it found that workers over the age of 40 are only about half as likely to get a job offer as younger workers if the employer knows their age. And when you know the average number of people who tend to apply for a single job is 118 and only 20% of those applicants are interviewed, well, you know what? It's understandable. It's understandable if you just want to throw your hands up in the air and say, why bother to interview? Well, what I say is this: throw that attitude in the trash. If you want to work, if you can work, if you need to work, there is definitely a way for you to find a job. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to interview for a job when you're over 50. In fact, I'll share 7. No, I'm going to share 8 of what I call are my interview secrets. Now, some of them you may say, well, you know what, Lou, they're not such a secret, but it's how you apply them. Well, that's the secret. Welcome back to Over 50 TV. My name is Lou Reyes. Well, before the break, I promised to tell you how to interview for a job when you're over 50, and I'm going to do that by sharing 8 of my interview secrets. Now, these are things that I learned about interviewing after hiring hundreds of employees and interviewing at least 10 times that many during my career as the publisher of a chain of business-to-business magazines and a weekly newspaper. And I'm going to start by sharing my interview secret number 1. Make sure your skills are up to date and keep them up to date. Don't apply for a job where your skills don't match up with what's listed on the job posting. Now, interviewing for a job when your skills don't align, why, to me, that's just an exercise in futility, and it really just cries of desperation. And you, my friend, you have no reason to be desperate. Patient, yes, it may take time, but you don't have to be desperate. If you need income immediately, just take a part-time job or 2 while you're going through the job hunting and interview process. Or what you could do is take what we call a bridge job, which is a job in the industry you want to be in, but it's a lower job on the ladder. You take that job while you're waiting to get the job that you want. Number 2, research the company. Know their history, find out where they're at today, and determine where they're going to be at tomorrow. You can also look at things like their website, and by looking at their website, what you're doing is you're looking at people in the pictures, you're looking at the age of those people, you're looking at how they dress. You also can do something which I recommend strongly, which is look at the ratings. Look at the ratings. You can see those on job sites, you see postings, but also another thing you can do, if you're looking to really do some good research, or I should say thorough research, is contact or try to contact former employees, or maybe it's possible for you to contact a current employee. Find out what the culture's like. Find out what people think about the management. Find out what they think about their job. Number 3, optimize your resume and also make sure it doesn't reveal your age. And one way to avoid that is don't try to cram every single job that you've had for decades into your resume. Generally only include the last 15 years of experience unless your earlier work includes a job title or a skill that's specifically relevant to the job posting. Now, another telltale sign of age is using a Hotmail or email account instead of using a Gmail account. For some employers, having one of those accounts, a Hotmail or email account, it gives or creates a slightly negative response because those platforms are seen as outdated relics. So get yourself a more current email address. Another important, I would say, tip to follow is make sure that words or wording in your resume align with words or wording in the job posting. And in many cases, make sure those words match. Write, memorize, and practice an elevator pitch. Now, you're going to need a 2 to 3 minute succinct elevator pitch for the phone interview and the in-person interview. So memorize your pitch, practice it, practice the answers, make it exciting, fun, and try to leave that interviewer wanting more. And I've had people come into my office and give me their elevator pitch. And sometimes when I hear that elevator pitch, I just can't wait to hear more about them. And I've certainly had that happen when I speak to people on the phone. And as a matter of fact, quite often, that's how they got into my office for the interview. Practice in-person interview skills. And one way to do that is by practice answering the 8 most often asked interview questions. And I've got those questions on the Over 50 TV YouTube channel. But know the answers like the back of your hand. Also practice responding to statements that are meant to kind of weed out older job seekers. You know, statements like, you're overqualified or you're too expensive. A poor response to those statements, it can eliminate you from consideration for the job like that. But a good response, it could take you to the next round. Now, during this part of the interview, it's to your benefit to leverage your experience by talking about the depth of your knowledge and your skills. And make sure to demonstrate that you understand the most pressing issues in your field. I say outline everything that you bring to the table, whether it's managing people or budgets or being a strategic thinker or having the ability to execute. In this area, I also suggest mentioning how you have or you're open to mentoring younger employees. Hire a career coach. Now, I think a career coach can be almost worth their weight in gold because a career coach, a good one, somebody who really cares and has experience, they can thoroughly prepare you for the job interview. And that also includes mentally preparing you for the job interview. I will caution you, though, I would vet that career coach. I would make sure that that person has experience. I would talk to people that they've helped or that they've worked with. I'd get their opinion. I'd ask that person, did you get or find a job with their help? Do you have a job now? But I would vet that person thoroughly, that career coach. But I do think if you can afford a career coach, it's a good move. Learn how to use Zoom and other video tools. Zoom, Google Meet, which I've started to use now, and other video chat platforms have become an essential part of the recruiting process. And I think we're all using them. If you're not sure how to use them, do what I do. I go on, I watch a tutorial on YouTube, I watch a demonstration. But using these tools and understanding them, it eliminates any concerns that a manager, a hiring manager can have about hiring an older worker who may assume that you aren't able to or you won't understand how to use the technology, but become an expert in one of those platforms. I think that can really help you. It can help you in the eyes of the HR manager. It can certainly help you to get a job. Last of my 8 secrets is network. Now, the benefits, the overall impact of networking have received a lot of study in recent years, and I'm going to put an article link in the description box so you can read this. But the results of those reports, they seem to some extent to vary, but everybody pretty much agrees that 70% of people end up in their current position thanks to networking. Now, other people will say it's more like 80% or 85%, and I don't think the percentage matters, but I do know that networking is a critical part of any job hunting process, and certainly networking when you walk into the HR manager and somebody says that, yeah, I know so-and-so, one of their friends, one of their business associates or acquaintances recommended you, that certainly goes a long way to helping you get that position. So network like hell, my friend. I think networking is key. I've done it all of my life. I've seen the results of it. I know networking can help you. Well, that's all I've got for you today, folks. I just wanted to share with you some of what I consider are the most effective interview tips. And these are tips that I've learned over the course of decades of hiring hundreds of people, interviewing at least 10 times that many. If you do have a question, I ask you, there is a section where you can write your question. I will do my best to get to you and answer your question as soon as possible. But I do want to say something that I think is very important. I can give you these tips. I can tell you how they can help you. I can tell you how I've learned they've been very effective. But if you don't apply them, if you don't religiously apply them, they're not going to help you. Well, that's all I got for you. Well, no, one more thing. I do want to ask you to subscribe to Over 50 TV. You can do that rather easily. All you've got to do is hit that little red button. It's underneath the video screen. There is a little bell. If you hit that little bell, every single time I upload a new video, you'll be notified in your inbox. Well, as I always say, have a great day, everybody.